Good evening, everybody. It's the single largest legal event in the same-sex marriage debate since June of last year, when the U.S. Supreme Court declared part of the Federal Defense of Marriage Act unconstitutional.
Since then, every major federal and state court ruling nationwide went in favor of same-sex marriage proponents.
So will the tri-state follow? Local 12 News has live team coverage of today's historic arguments.
Paula Toti spoke to supporters at an equality march. But first, let's go to Jeff Hirsh with the developments from court this afternoon. Hi, Jeff.
Well, good afternoon. As you guys said, in the past year, there have been 19 rulings on same-sex marriage, all in favor of same-sex marriage, not one single one against. Now, today, the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals heard appeals from Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, and Tennessee, each state trying to preserve their voter-approved gay marriage bans. Ohio and Tennessee are only recognition of out-of-state same-sex marriages. Those are fairly limited cases. But in Michigan and Kentucky, the gay marriage bans were thrown out completely. Now, I spoke with one of the Kentucky plaintiffs who's been with his partner for more than 40 years.
The only reason we've stayed in the closet because we grew up in an era when you didn't carry signs and things. The reason we got involved is for the people coming behind us, the young people that are committing suicide because of the issues. I'm a 3-time suicide survivor because of gay issues. So that's why it's important to me, and it should be important to everybody in this country.
Today's a hearing, or hearings I should say, we're before a 3-judge panel. And sometimes you can kind of get a hint as to how the judges are going to rule based on their questions or just their comments. Now, one of the judges, Martha Daughtry, she was appointed by Bill Clinton, and I'm telling you, she's going to vote to support same-sex marriage, I think. I mean, one of the things she said was the sky has not fallen in other states where this has happened. She was pretty clearly in favor of same-sex marriage. One of the appointees was appointed by George W. Bush. His name is Jeffrey Sutton. He was asking some pretty pointed questions to both sides in each state. But he did say that he was wondering whether it would be better for gay activists to win the hearts and minds of the voters at the ballot box rather than going through the court route. And another George W. Bush appointee, Deborah W. Cook, really did not have very much to say. But really, honestly, whatever comes out of here, it's going to head to Washington. This is going to go to the U.S. Supreme Court for a final verdict, whether it's from this particular courthouse or one of the other courthouses around the country where these cases are being heard. Live at the courthouse, Jeff Hirsh, Local 12 News. Back to you.
All right, Jeff, thanks. And today's hearings drew such large crowds of journalists and spectators to the Potter Stewart U.S. Courthouse that the clerk set up 2 overflow courtrooms equipped with piped-in audio of the proceedings. Coming up at 6, we're going to hear from one of the women involved in the Ohio lawsuit.